Hey guys, Rich at BilletSPIN here. I just want to show you the brand new top design that we have coming out. That's going to be going live this week on our website, which is www.billetspin.com. And we're also going to be opening up an Etsy store, and we're going to be having a few of the popular designs in there too. And that store is going to be BilletSPIN Tops. So if you want to check that out later in the week, they will be available. So yeah, what you're looking at here is the Rotor. That's the name of this top, and it's named that because it kind of looks like a car brake rotor. Pretty cool. It's got a little flower, I don't know what you want to call that, pattern in the middle there, and it's got a couple twists. Let me get rid of the spin base here. One of the cool things I'm just going to show you about this top is that every other groove on the grip it goes deep, shallow, deep, shallow, deep, shallow. You can kind of see it in the scallops on the side here, how they rotate. And it just gives it a really cool effect. I've never done that before. This is not a knurl. This is a, each one of those grooves is done with what we call a ball end mill. And so each one of those is machined, and then we also use that for the spiral down on the bottom. I think it just gives it a great effect and really goes with the flow of the rotor. But the main reason for the video today is I want to show you 3 different Damascus patterns that I have not used before. Well, I shouldn't say that. For those of you that have seen the Wraith top that I just did for Jim Skelton, I used this pattern right here. But let's talk a little bit about this stuff so that you know. There's going to be 3 different Damascus options for the rotor, and this is one of them. Now, this Damascus is different than the Damascus that I normally use, not just because of the pattern, but because of the materials that we use that are in it. Most of the Damascus that I've used thus far is stainless steel and high carbon steel, and when you etch that, the high carbon steel gets etched and the stainless steel does not. Well, this particular Damascus is a stainless steel Damascus, which means both layers are stainless steel. But because the grades are different, one of the grades is affected by the acid and the other one is not. Now, does that mean that you don't have to do any preventative care on it? No. You still want to protect it, you know, and keep it, you know, protected. Otherwise, it still will rust down the road. And so there's solutions that we have on the BilletSPIN Facebook group where we talk about that. But you can always hit me up with an email if you're not sure about how to care for your Damascus tops. So anyways, this is a much nicer Damascus to work with. It etches a lot easier, and it just looks cool. It's very, very expensive though because of these patterns, and so for that, you know, we have to price accordingly. But I think it's worth it. I think just for it to look, I mean, look at that. It looks like a space warp from Star Trek. You know, I was a huge Next Generation fan and totally geeked out on that show, and this just looks like something from Star Trek. But anyways, I want to just show you the 3 different patterns. This is just one of them, and this is called Spirograph. So if you really like this combination, when this goes on the website this week, you're going to want to get Spirograph. This next one is really cool, a much finer pattern. Hopefully the camera will show you this. But this is called basket weave, and the majority gets etched, but you have these little crosshatch patterns that go back and forth, kind of like a wicker basket. And yeah, that's called basket weave. And what that does, because it's not as busy as the Spirograph, you can really see more details in the machining of the top itself. One thing too, since we're here, I want you to see the grooves on the outside, or OD as us machinists call it. That is actually a hexagon in there. It's not. I'll spin that around so hopefully you can pick up on that. And here you can see on the non-etched version, you can see where it comes out, and there's where the points are. They're actual flats, and those happen to line up right with the top of the spiral groove there. So if you look, you can see that. Just kind of a neat little design element on there. But anyways, back to the Damascus. Didn't mean to get sidetracked there. So this is called basket weave. Very, very, very intricate pattern. How anybody could possibly do that is beyond me. But just look at that. That is just cool. I don't know how in the world they do that. They are much smarter than I am, but I think that's gorgeous. I actually like all three of these. This one here now is called razor wire, and I don't know, it looks like stars and stripes to me. It's a really, really, really cool little effect. Kind of like an in-between as far as busyness, you know. And I like this one. I like the other two a little better, but I still do really like this one. You can see the pattern on the outside there. And so anyway, so for those of you that are curious about Damascus, when we get it, it's a silver bar. And this is the same top as this one, just not etched yet. And you can see after we machine it, it kind of just looks like regular stainless steel. You can see a faint pattern in there. And so what we do is we put this in an acid bath, and it brings out the pattern because it only etches one grade of the stainless steel, and so the other grade is not touched and it remains shiny. I don't go back and repolish these after etching or anything. This is just how it looks. Now I do want to talk about one other thing about how we actually do the etching. For those of you not familiar, you can look it up on YouTube and see all sorts of videos on etching. But one of the things I want to cover is the way that we do it. We put it in a warmed, like it's like a lukewarm acid solution, and that will etch it. But then you have the acid on the left over on the top, and so what you have to do is you put it in a solution of baking soda and water, and that will neutralize the acid and stop the acid from eating any more of the top away. And it's very important that you let it soak and sit in there, and to monitor just to make sure that that it's neutralizing correctly. It's a long story. We can get into that some other time, but and I had messed up on that on one of my prior batches and learned my lesson. But then from there, and this is the big procedure that I want you guys to know. What we do, we have a soap, and in the soap is a rust preventative. It's made specifically for doing stuff just like this. And I've been working with metal parts my whole life, and and rust is obviously always a problem, especially with iron parts. So what we have is this soap, and it will clean, but it will leave a little film on the metal, and that will protect it from rusting. Now eventually that will wear off, and so there is care, as with any iron alloy, because it will rust. So there is care to it, but it's it's very simple and not very time consuming. So these are the three patterns. We'll go over them again. This is razor wire, this is spirograph, and this is basket weave. I'll show you one more view of the bottom here. And so those are going to be available for the rotor, and we're also going to be having all the regular standard material combinations, stainless, bronze, and copper. And so we'll look out for those too. And these are going to be, the standard materials are going to be $150, and due to the extra cost of the Damascus and all the extra work that you have to do with the etching and all that, these are going to be $200. And they're all going to come with the copper stem. I think that just really, really pops. I do mix those up. On the Navigator I use stainless steel, so I like to mix it up a little bit and give a little something for everybody here. But for the rotor, it's just going to be available with a copper stem. So I hope that answers your questions. I hope that gives you a better view of what some of this Damascus looks like and helps you make your decision. And please like the video and subscribe to our channel. And follow us on Instagram. It's BilletSPIN Tops on Instagram. Our website again is www.billetspin.com, and our Etsy store is BilletSPIN Tops. And also we have a Facebook group which you definitely want to check out. We have a great group of people. It's like a family in there, and that group is called BilletSPIN. So just search BilletSPIN on Facebook, and it'll take you right there. You'll have to ask to be approved, but I'll get you approved right away, and you can be part of the BilletSPIN family. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a great day.